Hi there, this is Mike Combs at ReachKeep.com with 5 Minutes to Better Sundays, and today we're talking Easter Challenge number 7. We're talking about how to get people to return after Easter. We talked a lot about preparing for Easter and getting folks to come, and a lot of tips, and we're going to do a thing on Facebook ads and many things along that line. But this is how to get them to come back, and really this is the standard that we use at our church. Easter's a great day. We'll have good attendance, but we get excited the next Sunday. In this case, Easter's on the 16th. The 23rd is the day when we get excited because we have families returning. Now, your viewpoint may be different on that. Some of the folks that come once a year or twice a year to church, Christmas and Easter, you may not think they're coming back, but and maybe they won't. But I'm going to do everything I can in my power to disciple people, because that's what Jesus said we're supposed to do. So someone that even comes once a year, if I get them in range of me, we're going after them, okay? We want to help people grow and mature, and obviously people need to go to church more than just 2 times a year. Let's make this Easter the end of that type of a setup, and let's get them solidified and going full time. And here's how we do that. We get them to return the next Sunday. So we've had a lot of discussion on this and getting them to return on some different forums that I work on. But I would like to give you, and I just wrote down a list of things here, I would like to give you some things that we are doing. And there are many other ideas out there, but I want to share with you several of those. First of all, let's just start with some very simple stuff. If your church does a bulletin or a little handout program, something like that, it needs to have dates in it for future things that are way out there. In fact, you'd be probably interested to know that on Christmas Day, when we have our big influx of people come in, we announce when Easter is because we want to get them ready. So we try to think ahead on that. But in this case, you need to have something about Mother's Day coming up, which is only about 4 weeks after. You need to have something about your children's programs for the summer that are going to be in there, because a lot of parents are like, wow, I'm looking for a church home. I'm looking for a place to get my kids involved. You need to have all the different things that are going on. We have a baby dedication that we're doing in June. We'll have information about that put in there. Anything that has to do with teenagers, those kind of things. But put those in your bulletin and take a moment or two to make those announcements yourself. And when you're standing up there, Pastor, and I know you may have someone else do announcements, but remember, when you make an announcement, it has a ton more clout. Just say, folks, so glad to have you here. And we just want to let you know we have some other special things going on. If you look in your bulletin, you'll see your children's programs and some of the baby dedications that are coming up within the next several weeks. Please make note of those things, for we'd love to have you come back. And just kind of pour your heart out to them. And that's a great thing to do. A second thing that you need to do, and we do this regularly, but you need to begin a sermon series of some sort and start that on Easter and continue that and let people know what is coming those next several weeks, so they will be interested in that particular topic, so they'll know what is going on. And you don't have to have the whole sermon outline and all that. And I understand that sometimes we change a sermon, they tweak it a little throughout the week. But we try to have several weeks worth of sermon titles and announcements ahead of time. And just so that is ready, I put a little thing in the bottom of our notes, say next week's sermon is about, and give them kind of the general idea of what is going on. And this is just another way to let people know what is moving on and what is coming up, I should say, in the future, so they can be prepared for that and they can get ready. Another thing that we are doing is we're taking family photos on Easter this year, and so between we have 3 services on Sunday morning. Between our services, we will have each time we have 3 different photographers, many of them done professional work, and we have lighting and some of that stuff set up off on the side. And families can come, and they're all dressed up, and the girls in their dresses, and the guys their little neckties and bow ties. It's really cute. And they sit and have a sitting, I think they call it in photo language, and we have that. Then we try to print what we call proofs. In other words, like a kind of a larger, 8 by 10 or something like that on one of our really nice printers. And we have those available the next Sunday. We just let them know, hey, if you want to come the next Sunday, we'll have those available. We also post those photos on Facebook for them, and there's other ways they can get them. But for them to come back the next week and take a look at their photos is a powerful thing to get them to come back. Probably one of my favorite things I'm doing this year is we have lots and lots of new young families, many of them unchurched families, very young in the faith. It's just very challenging to deal with a high amount of the crowd being new and brand new. And so I am doing, starting the right after, I'm doing a midweek Bible study. And it is called Fresh Point, and it is a starting point type of a Bible study where people can come in and start to grow in their faith. And I'm working on that, and it's going to go for about 6 weeks, and I will be doing that personally, leading that study, and very excited about having those people come sit in on that class and start to grow. And so if you're new to the faith, if you're trying to restart your faith, if you're getting back into church, whatever, we'll get them in. And we have many saved and unsaved, all sorts of people come to our church. We get them in there. This gives us that smaller group style environment where we can talk with them and get discussion going and answer their questions. And so I'm very excited about that Bible study. We're doing that on a Wednesday night right here in our facility. We do some other home Bible studies as well, but that one works really well, and I'm very, very excited about that. A couple other kind of standard things to get them to come back. We do 2 different mailings that they will get. Well, first, actually 3. I try to email every guest by Sunday evening. And so anyone that comes on Sunday, I try to shoot them off an email and say, hey, thanks for coming. Hope you can make it again sometime. Nice to meet you. Glad to hear that you worked at such and such a place. So-and-so. I try to put a communication thing in there. And then I say, hope to see you next Sunday when I begin to speak on, and I put the title. We also send out, number 2, we send out a little card, kind of a flip open type card that is just very generic, and it says, welcome, thank you so much for coming to be with our church, and you've made a healthy choice, and we're excited about you getting some good spiritual food into your life, and so here's on us a special treat, and we give them a $5 Subway card for visiting. So if there's a husband, wife, and a kid, they'd get 3 Subway cards, and we get so much feedback and comments on that, you wouldn't believe it. And just the idea of treating them to a meal, and while they're eating that meal, they're thinking about us, and that really helps people come back. So those are all mailed on Monday morning. That we process those on Sunday afternoon, and those are mailed on Monday morning. And then on Wednesday, we will mail a just regular standard sized piece of paper, envelope, a letter from me that says, hey, thanks so much. Really enjoyed getting to know you. And here's some dynamics that are important about our church, and kind of explain just a few things about what we are and what we're trying to do. We are trying to help young families win at home. We're trying to help you raise your kids. We're trying to help you develop some character. But most of all, we want to help you develop spiritually. And our church is a place where you can come and ask questions and learn and grow and mature. And if you have any questions, here's my contact, all the different ways. So that is something that goes out. So those 3 really contact points go out during that week, inviting them to come the following week. And then the very last thing, well, it's actually, I got 2 more really, is we try to have some of this with our kids program. So our Sunday school teachers will also kind of set things up. Hey kids, you don't want to miss tomorrow, or pardon me, next week, we're going to talk about David and Goliath, or, and the teachers have a couple little things that they hand out, inviting the children to return the next week. But the best one, most of all, is just a good visit. If you get an opportunity, and it's not always possible with the number of people that visit, and we're in the West, so we have people from 50 miles away. Logistics are difficult, but to go and to visit people and to just sit down and talk and listen and hear their story. Had a great visit this week with a lady. I had no idea about her background, and I'm so glad we got to spend some time with her, hearing those things. And that builds a friendship, that builds a relationship, and people really, they come because of events, but they stay because of relationships. Let me say that again. They come because of events and are invited by a friend or whatever, but they stay because they build a relationship with the leadership, friends in other places, and the Lord. When they get connected with the Lord, folks, you got them for a long time. And that's a wonderful thing. So this is Mike at ReachKeep.com. This is 5 Minutes to Better Sundays. You can go to ReachKeep.com and download our freebie, which has, I think, about 6 different ideas to help you get people to come to Easter in the first place. And that's absolutely free. That's at ReachKeep.com. You'll see it right there at the top about an Easter spurt, and it's a great thing. But thanks for taking a few extra minutes with me here on 5 Minutes to Better Sundays. We really ended up with about twice that. But God bless you, and you have a great Easter.